For years, I thought being productive meant doing everything. Wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, journal, work out, and start grinding before the rest of the world even wakes up. If I wasn't maximizing every second of my day, I felt guilty, lazy, like I was somehow falling behind. But then something weird happened. The more I did, the more exhausted I felt. The more I worked, the less I actually got done. And that's when I realized, maybe we've been looking at productivity all wrong. In today's hustle-driven culture, busyness and exhaustion have become badges of honor. Once upon a time, productivity was just about getting things done. Now it has become a way of living. Social media constantly bombards us with people showing off their hyper-optimized routines. I don't know about you, but I feel like social media has completely redefined what it means to be productive. It's not just about getting things done anymore. It is about showing you're being productive. If you're not posting about your busy schedule, your 12-hour workday, and your perfectly structured morning routine, does it even count? The problem is social media shows us the highlight reel. We see the 5 a.m. wake-ups, the perfect workouts, and the endless motivation. But what we don't see is the burnout, the skip workouts, and the days when people are just laying in bed exhausted. And yet, we compare ourselves to these unrealistic standards, leading to the constant guilt that we're never doing enough. Have you ever had one of those days where you work for hours but somehow nothing gets done? Because same. It turns out working more doesn't mean getting more things done. In fact, research shows that after about 4 to 5 hours of deep work, our ability to focus drops dramatically. I used to think that if I just worked more, I would finally feel accomplished. But the reality, the more I pushed, the more I burned out. And once I hit that point, even simple tasks felt impossible to do. Just as professional athletes need recovery time in their schedule just so they can improve their performance, high-achieving individuals also need breaks to function at their peak. Taking time to do nothing is not being lazy. It is a crucial reset for your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. At first, the idea of doing nothing felt wrong, unproductive, like I was wasting my time. And then I realized some of my best ideas never came when I was overworked after a 10-hour workday. They came when I was in the shower, or when I was out on a walk, or simply laying in bed staring into the void. Turns out there's actual science behind this. When we let our minds wander, we activate the default mode network. According to Wikipedia, the default mode network is a network of brain regions that are active when an individual is awake and at rest. It is involved in several functions, including self-referential thoughts, theory of mind, moral reasoning, social evaluations, memory, and future planning. When we give ourselves permission to rest, we actually create the opportunity to recharge, to spark creativity, to process our emotions, and improve our focus and presence. By prioritizing rest and allowing time for nothing, we restore our balance, we renew our energy, and we become more present. Of course, that doesn't mean productivity is a bad thing. Accomplishing goals, staying organized, and making progress can be deeply fulfilling. The problem arises when we think that being constantly busy will make us successful, and we feel guilty when we take a break. True productivity is not about cramming every single second of our day with work. It's about knowing when to push harder and when to take a step back. So if overworking doesn't actually help, what's the alternative? Quality over quantity. Focusing on fewer things but doing them well. Deep work instead of busy work. Eliminating distractions and focus on meaningful tasks. Rest as a strategy. Breaks, sleep, and downtime are not luxuries, they're necessary. Joyful productivity. Work on things that energize you, not just what looks productive. Instead of asking, how much can I do today? Start asking, what's the most important thing I can do today? We've been tricked into believing that our worth is tied to how much we accomplish. But real productivity is not about working more. It is about working smarter. Some of the most important things in life, like relationships, health, creativity, happiness, do not show up on a to-do list. So maybe it's time to stop glorifying the grind and start reclaiming our time. Because in the end, doing less might actually be the key to achieving more.